Okay, this video it's Jeremy's fault. Okay, I'm joking about this, but Jeremy made me go down in the basement. So this is a Guidelight MT frame. The difference between the MT and the first generation Guidelight, the first generation Guidelight had a one-piece belt. Check out my other video. I'll post a link to my YouTube playlist. So the MT Guidelight MT has a 5-piece section. You got this, that, this, and that in that one piece. The difference with these two, this kind of helps secure you on your pelvis. So it's a much more less slippage versus the Guidelight, the first generation, which is a one piece that just goes straight in, and it's very slippery back here. So a lot of people complain about it. It was slipping, but it is lighter than this 5-piece. The difference between Guidelight MT frame, which is the hunting line, versus the nice frame. The nice frame ends up to here. This is the load lifter. So taking the load lifter out, you get the nice frame. With the load lifter, you add these to get better carry, much more comfortable carry. It's taken out of from what I understand from the nice frame, it's taken out so the helmet doesn't bounce off this thing. When you're laying prone, your helmet doesn't get knocked off by the frame. But there's a give and take there. Your helmet doesn't get knocked off, but you don't have load lifters. That's why some of the nice frames, you have to buy an extension, either from Mr. Ranch, which they don't make anymore, or you can look and ask OV Innovations if they still make the load lifter for the nice frame. Now, the question is the BJ, the blackjack. I don't have a blackjack. I only have a saddle, which don't have a frame. Anyway, going back. So the blackjack, I'm assuming, has this part here. It'll have this. It doesn't have the name on it, of course. So the bag will have this. The post will go through here and secure here. So it's lifting the bag off and carrying it on the frame. So the nice doesn't have a load lifter, so it doesn't have this hole. You just have this horizontal post. So it'll catch on this thing, on these corners, plus here. So your bag is carried by the frame. Essentially, it's carried from the hip going up. So the blackjack bag is resting on this horizontal post like that. So the frame goes through here and up here and catches there, carries the bag. The difference between that and the hunting line and the newer bags, like the Sawtooth Mr. Ranch, it has this buckle. It's gonna be weird, but the frame corner attaches here, and then of course you buckle it together. It's gonna be stupid anyway. So you secure it like that, like in the video. So essentially, this is where the buckle would be. So basically what everybody's saying is the nice frame goes up to here. The Guidelight MT has a load lifter, which helps it carry the load better, but the load lifter will knock off your helmet. So the frame carries the bag for you. The hip is essentially where it carries the load. The problem with the padding on the military bags, they don't have the same cushioning as this one. They have where it folds back like that, but it's different with the hunting line bags. It doesn't have something like this where it separates and moves around. Like I was told, the padding here is different. It is more, not as it can't handle the abrasion as good because it rubs on your combat belt or your first line belt. It rubs off that thing. That's why it doesn't last as long. That's why this gets replaced. You have to buy new parts, new belt or padding from Mr. Wrench. But essentially, the Guidelight frame is the nice frame minus the load lifter. So if the blackjack bag has this part here, then you can essentially use, if I want to buy a blackjack bag, I could use this frame and just slide it in here. If it doesn't have this hole, if it's just stitched together, then I can't use the frame because I need a hole for the frame to pass through. So if the bag for the blackjack doesn't have a hole, then I cannot use a Guidelight frame on it. So, but since the military light frame doesn't have a load lifter, then essentially a nice frame and a military light frame is essentially the same. It's just the newer part based off the Guidelight MT frame. Hope that makes sense.